So the main riff we're going to start off with starts on bar 1, and you're going to play this through 4 times and then switch to the major version of this. So this is the most recognisable bit of the whole thing, I guess, and it starts like this. So that's figure 1, which starts on bar 1, and I'll walk you through it quickly. So I'm playing with my 3rd finger on the G string, the 5th fret, and then I'm dropping down an octave to the C, which is on the 3rd fret of the A string, played by my 1st finger. And I'll show you the picking for that as well. So the high string is a down, and the lower string is an up. And then my little finger is going to play a tone and a half above that on the 6th fret, which again is a downstroke. And then my 3rd finger is going to play on the D and G strings, the 5th fret, and I'm going to roll it. So, and that allows me to play both of those as downstrokes as well. So rolling is basically you play the first note, and then as you move to the 2nd note, you mute the 1st note. So, and then that's back ready to play that note again at the start of the pattern. So you play that 4 times like I just did, then you're going to play the major version of that, which starts on the same finger, but this time drops down to the 2nd finger to play the 3rd fret of the A string. So your 1st finger is now here on the fret behind it, so that's 2nd fret of the D string, and now you're going to play the major 3rd instead. And then if you can do the roll with your 3rd finger, again that's perfect. If not, you can do it with your little finger. So the whole thing. Now that is by far the hardest bit of the entire song, and don't be surprised if that's where almost all of your time goes. As you can probably hear, I'm still not doing it perfectly, but luckily the faster you get, that will kind of mask up some of the mistakes, which isn't something I should be encouraging, so forget I said that. That's figure 1. So figure 2, starting on bar 9, you're just going to hit a C power chord. So 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and then the 5th fret of the D and G strings, either with 2 fingers or with 1 finger, whichever. So you do that for 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So then you're going to do the main riff but a string lower, which is going to start with your 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the D string. So that whole bit, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it's the same thing, 2 frets lower. So the B flat power chord, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can feel free to do some alterations with the chord. I like to just hit 1 chord every 2 bars and hold it, because in the version I've recorded there's quite a lot of distortion, so it's a big sound anyway. You don't need to do rhythm. If you're doing, say, a bluesy version or a classic rock version, feel free to do maybe a little bit more rhythm. So figure 3, which starts on bar 25, is just a variation of figure 2, so it's almost entirely the same as the part we just played, except for the final 4 bars. Instead of playing the riff in F after the B flat power chord, we're just going to go straight up and play a C power chord for 4 bars, so that's bars 37 through 40. So the entirety of figure 3 is as follows. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's also handy because that puts you in position for playing the C power chord again at the start of the next section. So figure 4, again this is the same kind of section. It's similar to figure 3 except for the last 2 bars. So having gone from the B flat 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, C 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you're then going to do this octave slide pattern. So all I'm doing there is holding the 3rd fret of the A string with my 1st finger, and my little finger is holding the 5th fret of the G string. You could do that with your 3rd finger either is fine. And I'm muting the string in between, which is the D string. So I'm going da da da, and then moving up 2 frets, da da da, 1 fret, da da da, another 2 frets, da da da. So I'm strumming each of those 3 times, going da da da, da da da, da da da, da da da, but I'm sliding on the first of those triplets, except for the first one. So da da da. That gives it a nice kind of lilting feel. So that's the only difference starting on bar 55 is you start doing the octaves instead of holding the C power chord. So the entirety of figure 4 is and it can be quite hard to get that timing quite right, but if you have a listen to the song, the way I've recorded it, it makes a little bit more sense. So figure 5, this is the second overall section, and I think we're about halfway through, and it is quite a bit different. So we start on bar 57 by holding a G sharp power chord. So that's the root on the 4th fret of the E string, my little fingers holding down the 6th frets on both the A and D strings, and we're doing this pattern. So if I show you the picking, we're strumming down the first one, da, and then palm muting it, da 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 da. So now on bar 59 we're doing the same thing for D sharp. So if you go up a string and up 2 frets, da 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 da, and we're just doing that once, because then I'm doing a, you're just moving your first finger from here to the 8th fret, and you're barring the D, G and B strings with a bit of vibrato, and then my second finger is hammering on to the 9th fret of the B string and then pulling off again. Then you're going to do that rhythmic pattern in F for 2 bars, which is rooted to the 1st fret of the E string with the 5 on the octave on the 3rd string of A and D. And then you can do that up in C, rooted to the 3rd fret of the A string, and then back to G sharp again. And this bit is quite tricky. These are just little flourishes I've put in to make the rhythm part in this section a little more interesting. So that's bar 67. Start by playing the F power chord again, so first finger there, little finger there. And then my middle 2 fingers are grabbing the 3rd fret of the A and D strings. And my first finger is down here on the 1st fret of D string to achieve this. And then these 2 fingers are going to the 3rd and 2nd frets of E and A strings. And then you're playing the kind of top half of a G major open chord. Vibrato as well. If that's quite hard, which to be honest it is, do just stick to the F power chord for those 2 bars. And then the last bit for that section is hitting the C power chord. However, rather than doing 3 strings, I'm doing an inversion, so the finger that's playing the root is playing the E string as well. So you've got 3, 3, 5, 5. Then you're doing the octave slide thing again. So the entirety of figure 4 is Figure 6 is very similar to figure 5, however, after playing this open G chord in bar 84, we're then going to play the main riff in C for 4 bars again. and then just hit the power chord for C on bar 89, and you're done. So the entirety of figure 6 is... and that's it. Now obviously it's very important to play along to a metronome like I did not just do. Don't do what Liam did by metronome. It's very important.